testing my, I'm always trying to figure out a good way to like have lives and actually be able to see or show you. But let me first go to YouTube and switch over. But welcome and appreciate you being here. Just testing my camera, and I'm going to be working on. Let's see, it's it. Okay, there we go. Just, um, just a second. Let me switch this over to subscribers only and save. All right, so I think we're good. So let me, new window. Yeah, right now I just closed off my monitor, so now I have to go back into the monitoring system. But welcome in, welcome in. We're going to be working on a number of probably some live streams. Let me see if I can see. So the purpose of this live today is to say hi. Hi, my name is Lupe. I work out of Blind Art Studios. I mostly do arts and stuff, but I also have a store with vintage goodness. So, and so I keep trying to do these lives and have a hard time showing you what I'm working on because the camera. Let me see. Still setting up the monitoring system. Let me go. There we go. All right. Hey Monica, welcome in, welcome in. You're probably getting ready to go to work, right? So yeah, so I was watching the replay of my live yesterday from the art hangout. Let me see if I can move it. And then I saw that oh fantastic. You know, um I work best at night. I tried to go to sleep at night, but no, my 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 system is set up weird, differently, if you will. Not weird, uniquely different. Yeah, so I can sleep a lot during the day if I take naps and such. But at night it's just like it's a perfect time to do work. It's so like quiet and peaceful and cool. So yeah, it's the best time, I think. Ah, there you go. Yeah, it's just so sometimes I try to go to sleep and stay there, and then sometimes I was just like, you know what? Why why force it? So then I just get up and do work and stuff. So I don't, other than like my volunteer thing on Thursdays, and every so often I'll have different appointments and stuff. And then my every other Tuesday for the glass studio. I really, I'm not tied to a schedule, so I can do different things. So yeah, so I think this is a good. I don't know. I'm thinking this is a good position for the camera. This is very new. And then it doesn't force me to lift my arms and have my arms like lifted the entire time while I'm working, which will be helpful because when I do that, my arms fall asleep. So yeah, anyways, yeah, so it's not gonna be like super exciting. I'm just testing out the camera. And so they could stand to go. But instead of doing that, I keep trying to go based on what the camera angle is, but what I really should do is just move the camera a little bit and just like have it be comfortable for me to be working. You know what? And probably I could move my to yourself too. Yeah, me too. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. And then also I can lift my chair because I think I was like way down there to make it more comfy. Yeah, so if I'm working on yeah, see, I think this is yeah. I mean, Barbara, you were there. You know the issue. Yeah, so I have a hard time keeping the work in front of people. So I think this is gonna work. Oh, and this is a failed port R thing. I'm going to cover it. I actually have a commission to work on a Chihuahua painting, and so I'm going back and utilizing my canvases that didn't quite work out. And yeah, so anyways, I want to re-gesso it and work on it. So yeah, okay, I appreciate that. Yeah, I think this is much more comfortable because yesterday I was, I put um a box here and then put like a little stand, if you will, and then put my work on top, and then I kind of have to have my hands lifted, and then one of the left hand, when I have it like positioned like that, every so often it just like goes numb, and so then I have to wait for it to come back or whatever. So that's probably not a good idea to keep getting it numb. Yeah, but this seems to work out better. So yeah, so I'm gonna try to. This is another project I have for yesterday, which was basically use up these pre-mixed paints and get this tiny so I've never done this small of a you know what, I'm gonna get them right next to each other so I don't waste any paint. So yeah, so what I want to do is basically just like prep these canvases so that I can make little tiny paintings for the Meet Your Maker small scale. So this paint is very watery. Maybe I should have that go at the end. Let's get more drier ones. So the idea is basically to use up all these little containers because I have so many of them pre-mixed because I wanted to have every shade of pink, every shade of green, every shade of purple, whatever, when I was working on my paintings. And um, yeah, so now I'm just trying to utilize all of that. And I think this container is the glowy or bright paint. So, anyways, yeah, but welcome in. So let's try it. See how like this one separated. So I have the little. Where's the wipey so that I can wipe the paint from the previous paint off. And yeah, because yesterday I had set up a what is oh, see, look, even that is on screen. Yeah, no, this is gonna be perfect, I think. Hey, Galloping Ghost, welcome in, welcome in. We're just doing some art here. Well, basically, we're just trying to recycle or salvage some of these paints that I've had for many years, like maybe 3 years. Look at how thick that one is. Yeah. So and yeah, so I'm gonna try to this way too thick, but I'm okay with that because again, we're just using up the paint. Look at this. Ew, it almost was kind of gross. But it's just paint. So again, we're using up what we have because I'd rather use it up than to throw it away. These are expensive paint, mostly Amsterdam, Arteza, um, what else? Liquitex. Yeah, all these are like the expensive. I mean, they're not expensive like Windsor or Newton or something, but they're not the cheap kind. So we're trying to use it up, and so now I'm gonna go in with this one, and at the end, it's all gonna make sense. Yeah. So yeah, I'm liking this setup better. I should probably do like a base painting on. I should have done a base painting on all of them, and then just when I, but never too late for that. So we finished two containers already, which is perfect. So what we're gonna do is what Fiona from Fiona Art says is called a reverse dip. Actually, I'm liking this color because it's very cotton candy, and oh, but that's for I've already covered one. Maybe what I'll do is doesn't this look like orange sickle or crimsicle orange crimsicle ice cream. I'm liking it. I'm liking it. Didn't expect it to be this quick. One we used up. Oh, I got the bracelet um in there. Let me see if I can tighten it so that it doesn't go down there. And yeah, so the purpose of today is to again just check out the new camera setup. I think that works, and it's such a simple fix. I don't know why I didn't do it before, um, but yeah, I'm liking it. So, and it seems to have to show most of the work. Yeah, I think this is going to be a good way to show when I'm actually working on stuff. So right now we are just reverse dipping these tiny canvases on some previously mixed paints, trying to salvage some of the paint that are in these containers that I had pre-mixed for paintings while like back a couple years ago, and some of them have dried out. Some of them are in the on the verge of drying out, and so I wanted to salvage them. So now I'm going to use the one that has the most paint to siphon off some of that paint onto the next canvas so I can have this one finished. So I'm just gonna set these up. You know what? I probably will put them up on top of the container so that the excess paint drips down. And yeah, so this is gonna be the base coat. And then what I'm gonna do is later on, once this dries, and this should dry in a couple hours probably. I had my heat gun here. Actually, I might have it. Let me see. If I have it, I'll try to dry them with the heat gun. But if not, then I'll just wait, making a mess, but it's okay. It all it's all good. Do take a look at my buy it now. Just not pressure to buy anything. Just take a look. Of my I tried to load just some of the paintings so you can get a sense of like what I'm into and stuff. Um, and and then if you are so inclined, you can take a look at my actual store. Have many listings, and I have more stuff that I could list, but I still have. Yeah, I'm playing the long game. Okay. Hey, Savvy Style, welcome in. So yeah, I didn't have any intention of reselling vintage when I applied to be a seller. I just wanted a way to be able to sell some of my art. Then I saw all the shows of the people having fun, selling vintage, and I got all into it. So I'm half, I think, for the most part, I think I've sold as much as I've purchased. Perhaps it might be a little different, but when they first showed us the the statistical stuff, like how many purchases you've done, then also how many sales you've had. I think that was one to one, So I always sort of consider myself both a buyer and a seller, but I came in as a seller way back in the day. But like I said, I didn't intend to do vintage. And so because of that, I played the long game. So I do a lot of buy it now listings, and I figure eventually one of my treasures will find its future home, and it's gonna all be good. So all right, so I think I covered. At least I gave it the base coat. It's kind of bright, but why not? It's summer. It's a summer color. So now let me just lift all the little containers. It looks kind of gross, but it's gonna look cute. And yeah, so yeah, the summer, they kind of look like paletas, if you know what paletas are. Like those ice cream bars, fruit ice cream bars. Yes, they look delicious. Most recently, in the little town that I live in, um, they just opened up a Michoacana paleta shop. I haven't gone in yet because the first day, I mean, when they were opening, I had my nephew Julian with me, and he didn't want to go in there because he doesn't like sweet things. He's a 10-year old doesn't like candy. It happens. Even when he was a baby, like for his first and second year birthday parties and stuff, his mama tried to like feed him some of the cake, and yeah, he wasn't having any of it. So yeah, since he was a little kid, he didn't like sweets. He likes fruits, but not like um, artificial sugars and stuff. So, anyways, all right. So I think the setup is good. I finished this project. Well, at least I brought it to the next stage, which is let me move this out of the way so that it can drip. Yeah, so just a basic coat underneath would be good. I wanted to use up more of my paint, but that's okay. And I think this is glowy. Let me see. I think it's glowy. Let's see. Yep, it's super glowy. So yeah, so it's okay because I can still put stuff on top of it, and it's all gonna be good. Maybe I can drip a little bit of I think I set some of these so they're not visual. They're not in on screen. And hey, Nadine and Brandon and Tigger Lily, welcome in. I'm just we both are, right? Yeah. So yeah, yesterday I was looking at the playback and there were a couple of times when I wasn't on screen. And anyway, so then I decided to move the camera, and earlier I was much more visible. Then I moved all the little canvases. Some of them are out of screen, and that's okay. So now I'm just dripping some green paint. And so what I'm doing is I'm trying to prep these tiny canvases for small paintings for the Meet Your Maker small scale um for the meet yeah for the small scale edition. And so now I'm just dripping this bright green. I bet you this one also glows. I think I grabbed the glowy all the glowy paint. But yeah, so yeah. So overall overall it like the camera works. And yeah, so I was trying to utilize as many of, let me show you. I have, I don't know, maybe like five or six containers like this where I have paint that is already pre-mixed, and I've had it for years pre-mixed. um hey Rita, hey Tigger, welcome in, welcome in. um yeah, so my plan is to try to utilize as much of that as possible, because these are the more expensive paints. I mean, they're not like the super, super expensive, but it's Amsterdam, it's Arteza, I have Liquitex, I have Deco Art stuff. And then also some of this, what is it? What was this brand called? I forget. But yeah, but this was a pouring artist. She did her own brand of paint. So I bought, quite a bit of that. So I want to use that up. But I've noticed that her paint actually, it's like really in really good condition. And I haven't touched it for like years, which means she did a really good job. Unfortunately, she went out of business, but these paints were really good. Um, but they're somewhat, so these are transparent. So um, you're going to always see, most of them are. There's maybe, well, the ones that I purchased, I think they all seem to, except for the green, the forest green, no, the evergreen one. They all are pretty transparent. But anyways, all right. So um, I was just trying to see the setup. Setup works. I was then going to do like a base paint on these canvases, and then I'm gonna go in and do more stuff to them, have it more textured and that sort of thing. But I'm gonna let them dry so that it doesn't get the paint muddled. Um, let me see. I might go in with like something that's a little different. Maybe some purple. Well, let's try this. I think this is a neon. Okay, so this one is not expensive, but it's my favorite paint. This is Artist Loft. I think I think this is Artist Loft neon purple. And so at first it just shows up. Oh yeah, look how thick it is. And that's okay, because we like texture sometimes. Um yes, and then later on it's like the prettiest neon purple. It's like I don't know, kind of like a raspberry purple. Yeah, it's really beautiful. when it dries. So yeah, this I'm not on screen, but it's not that I'm not on screen because the camera's positioned incorrectly. It's just I moved all the little canvases away from each other so that they will have a chance to dry, and not, the further they are from each other, the better. I like that. I think that's kind of cute. And then let's move this one more inside, and then this one so that I can bring this one onto screen, and this one as well. Okay, and then go back. And then we'll see what happens when this one dries. We'll see if it um, leaves a texture. I'm also up earlier because I have a meeting with people on the East Coast, and they so it's a morning meeting, and so that also adds to why I'm up this early, because I am Mountain Standard Time. What are we making? Yes. Okay. So I purchased 8 little tiny canvases for. I'm gonna make little paintings. I had hoped to paint some circus related stuff on this tiny painting, so that I would be working on something for both theme park, which is on Sunday. My show is at 5 p.m. Eastern time, and then also for Meet Your Maker on August 22nd. And but I don't think I'll be done by Sunday because I'm working on something else that I'm almost done on. It's like a zebra. And so I want to finish that off because it's taking me forever to do that. Um, and then, but these will be perfect. I'll probably paint, instead of like circus animals, which was my intention on these originally. I'll probably do like little tiny flowers on that, because then I can have that be part of the Meet Your Maker for the small scale. And my mom loves any type of flower. So if there's anything that nobody loves or whatever, moms always love flowers. So so that's kind of what I will eventually do on these tiny canvases. But I wanted to prep them first, and then I'll go in and paint, like, some sort of flower. I could do maybe like a wildflower series, and maybe paint like different types of wildflowers. This was very summer. Um, or I might decide to do something completely different. But nonetheless, I wanted to use up the paints that I have all over the art studio. I have many containers like these with paints that are already pre-mixed, and so I need to use them up because some of them are drying out. Um, and so I want to be able to, like, just, I don't want to waste any of it, because I could just and I thought about it, but I decided not to. But I did think about it. It was just like grabbing them all, put them in a trash bag, and taking it to that paint recycle place, and just see if anybody's interested in them. But they're kind of expensive, and I want to take advantage of stuff that I've already paid for. So yeah, so I'm gonna try to use it up. I have commissions. I have 2 commissions for larger scale paintings. I just need to get on and just make them. I had a commission for a Chihuahua dogs for that was from May. So June, July. Oh gosh. Yeah, I've had it for a while now. And it was, I did a painting of Chihuahua dog, and I sold, and it was in an art exhibit locally. It sold quickly, but another lady really wanted one like it. So she asked if I would make her one, and I said yes. And I have yet to do it. So, yep. And then, of course, another rose. And I love the roses. So, yeah. Anyways, yeah. So, I tested the camera. I think the camera works well. See, look, um, it's closer so that it shows most, more than what was happening yesterday. Let me move this out of the way and see if I can put some beading stuff and see if that works. But I think it'll work as well. Let me move this out of the way. I think it's lifting stuff on the bottom. Okay, I'm gonna just set this over on the side. I have another table on the side over here. And then, so these are the tiny seeds that I work with. That's actually pretty good. I actually need to separate these. I bought these from, the local market. And look at this one. I'm going to make this one into this pendant into a necklace for sure. But I need to separate the bigger ones from the smaller ones, because I have plans to make bonsai trees out of beads. I just had an idea, and I think that's going to work. But I first need to separate this. And I bought 2 of them just in case. And so for this one, I'm going to need a container of sorts. Let me grab a vintage vessel that is very dusty. Let me grab my shirt and dust it. I could also do a wipey, but I think I do a better job with my shirt because my shirt is dry. Anyways, all right, so what we're going to do, it's a vintage container. Down into the camera. I was trying, but so what I'm trying to do now is have it be more comfortable, because what I had to do yesterday was like raise my arms to be working on it, and my left arm, like my shoulder, if I lift my shoulder and keep it lifted for a while, it goes numb. It goes numb because of that, how I fractured my neck. And so the discs are pinching on the nerve. And so anyways, yeah, so I need to make it more comfortable. So that's kind of where I'm at. So that, yeah, see, it's even better when I bring it closer to me. And yeah, so I was just trying to, because I've had recent lives where like I was working, thinking it's on screen or whatever, and this was so not on screen. And so I was frustrated watching the replay. And so then I was like, I'm gonna need to do better. And then I would try, and then it wasn't better. It was worse. So I'm hoping that this situation is better. And so now I have setups for when I'm doing sewing, like vintage stuff. I have a setup on my left hand side, and then this should be good for like when I'm doing like making stuff. So overall, hopefully this works out, and it's more comfortable and I can participate. Yeah, I think it's going to be good. So now I'm just trying to figure out how to open this. I always have a hard time trying to figure out the best ways to do that. Usually if I just kind of squeeze like this, it opens. So we're just going to dump it in here. That's just to keep it contained. And what I'm going to try to do is basically just separate the bigger ones from the smaller ones, because I need the more medium or smaller ones to do the bonsai tree. Or yeah, that's what I'm calling it, but it's going to be more like a, yeah, like a floral thing. It won't be like, maybe there'll be like abstract flowers, but it's more like a bonsai tree. Like the feel of it, I think. See, look, all those big ones. Oh, look, they even included a marble. Oh no, it's a bead. I recently purchased some marbles. Well, I have a few vintage marbles, um, but I I was on the newbie train the other day, and someone was selling at really great starting bid. So I bid on two containers of marbles, but only one. But it's okay because I think one's pretty good. Look. This is gonna be also, where is it? Right there. Look, this is also gonna be made into a pendant for a necklace. Isn't it wonderful? I mean, if I had to, no, yeah, this can only be a pendant. It's quite heavy and it's really pretty. Look, unfortunately, when they did the hole for the bid, they messed up the design on the back, but it's really pretty. But anyways, yeah. All right. Well, I think I'm gonna jump off because in just half an hour or so, I'm gonna be jumping into my meeting, and that's in a different camera. But anyways, thank you all for joining me. I think this is a good setup. This, yeah. So I'm excited to hopefully for the next art hangout. Thanks, Barbara. I appreciate it. Thank you, Nadine, for jumping in there as well, and for Rita and everybody else who jumped in as well. Thank you so much. And we'll see you next time. Let's see if we can figure out. This should also be closer to me so that I can figure out how to. I'm just going to click on somebody for a raid. And I can't see that far. So